New developments this morning in the Israel-Hamas war. The World Health Organization says it lost all communication with its contacts at Al-Shifa, the largest hospital in Gaza. Over the past couple of days, the facility has been caught in the crossfire and appears to be surrounded by Israeli troops. The Gaza Health Ministry says that 37 premature infants are at risk of dying due to power outages. Meanwhile, at a press conference yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that Israel will take full control of security in Gaza after the war. A bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers recently met with the Prime Minister and other leaders in Israel. And earlier today, I spoke with one of those lawmakers, Pennsylvania Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, who also sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, thank you, as always, for coming to the Sunday Show.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good to be with you.
So as I mentioned a moment ago, Prime Minister Netanyahu said Israel would take full control of security in Gaza. You met with him this morning. Did he sketch out what that would look like and how long that control would last?
That actually isn't something we focused on entirely. I want to go back and say where we started, and then he clarified what he meant about taking control of Gaza. As did his defense minister. We're here in Israel for just a few hours, but an important few hours. We met with Ambassador Liu, we met with Defense Minister Gallant, and of course we met with the Prime Minister and all of their teams. Israel is a changed place. It's a quiet place. It's a place where when you check into the hotel, they show you the protocol for the bomb shelters should the air raids go off. What we started with today with Prime Minister Netanyahu was a 20-minute video that felt like hours, detailing the extraordinary horror that Israel and 1,300, 1,400 perhaps, folks suffered, those who have died, 240 taken hostage, 4,000 injured. The video I will never forget. I hope to never see anything like it again. And so I bring that to the attention of the American people, and particularly to Congress, to say we have to do everything in our power to make sure that Israel is successful in doing a few things: rooting out Hamas, providing humanitarian assistance to protect civilian life of Palestinians in Gaza, and that we get the aid to Israel as well as Ukraine, militarily and humanitarily.
Well, as you know, Congresswoman, the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, put forth a continuing resolution plan that doesn't include any funding for Israel. Is that a complete non-starter for you?
Well, it is, and it seems like it's a laddered CR. I'm not interested in that. I'm on a bipartisan CODEL. I'll tell you, there are Republican members who are not interested in that. I think we will walk away from here and take back with us to Washington in a bipartisan way that aid to Israel, including humanitarian aid, and not tethered to defunding IRS or defunding anything else, is an absolute humanitarian must. And we must do it also for Ukraine.
Congressman, yesterday at a summit in Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and other Arab leaders, including the presidents of Iran and Syria, signed a resolution accusing Israel of war crimes in Gaza and demanded an end to what it called, quote, the colonial occupation government against the Palestinian people. Your reaction to that gathering and those comments?
Well, I think it's irresponsible at this point. What we do know is that horrific crimes were suffered by the people of Israel. And Israel has a full right, and I believe a responsibility, to go after those terrorists who attacked, brutalized, burned alive, tortured, cut off limbs and heads. We have a responsibility to support Israel in her pursuit to root out Hamas. I think it's, you know, what we talked about today with Prime Minister Netanyahu was to assure that as they pursue this, he talked about micro-targeting Hamas, limiting as much as possible the loss of civilian life, the loss of innocent Palestinian Gazan life, and making sure that whatever happens as it is pursued is somewhere a path toward peace. We have to think about the day after Hamas is rooted out. So I want to see as few civilians killed as possible. I want the terrorists brought to justice. And ultimately, we must all be a part of peace for this region.
Congressman, I know your time is limited, so one more question for you. Have you gotten any update on the more than 200 hostages, including 10 Americans who are unaccounted for and still trapped inside Gaza?
We had assurances at all three meetings, whether it was Ambassador Liu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, or Defense Minister Gallant, that that is their top priority. What I now am doing as I leave you, I'm going to be meeting with family members of hostages. I believe one is an American family member. So I'm very mindful of the hostages on this Sunday morning. I pray for their safe and immediate return, and as I said, for peace in this region.